Yo, yo, yo. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Vickcook. So, this is me months ago doing a poor man's brisket. I took a chuck roast and I smoked it to make it a brisket style. Now, I actually found a brisket. And I found a brisket that's small enough to where I can eat it by myself. Because I'm the only one that likes brisket that's around me for some reason. Because normally they're pretty huge, and they get pretty huge. They get pricey. They get up to like the 60, 70 bucks, and which that would mean for me, I would have to eat brisket all week, and I just can't do it. I can't do it. I tried, but just can't do it. So I got a nice small brisket that I can just eat by myself, and it looks like it's already pretty trimmed. Because when I went to the store, they had the bigger ones there, and I knew nobody was gonna buy them, so I kind of just kept going back and just keeping my eye on them. And then I noticed that what they do is they cut them in half. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll just mark them down. It's not going to mark them down too much. But so anyway, I got my brisket here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some cuts on the fat. It's already trimmed nicely, so I don't really have to trim it much. If I wanted to, I could trim some fat off, but I think I'm just going to leave it. And yeah, we'll make cross cuts of this. And it's really dry already. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna do this anyway. I'm gonna pat it dry just a little bit more, so that way I can put all my seasonings on there that I want. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start coating it. So what I have here is I have pepper. I have crushed up black pepper, and I have some allspice rub and some brown sugar. And then I got some bourbon. And then I'm also going to use this Jack Daniel's beef rub. It's a little bit left in here. I figure why not. So what I'm going to do first, we'll just sprinkle just a little bit of that on there. Don't need a whole lot because I'm adding a lot to it. Alrighty. So that's enough just to get that color on there. And then next we'll go with the allspice rub. There we go, flip that over. But yeah, it's a tough piece of meat to cook. I mean, it's not tough, it's really soft, but it's technique-wise, it's a lot going on. I'm actually going to use this and test out my thermometer probes that I got. So we'll see how that works. But the key with this is we're going to do this low and slow. We're going to take our time with this. This is very early in the day. It's 10 o'clock about, roughly. So after this, I'm going to take some bourbon, and I'm just going to splash it on there. And that's just to help it kind of stick. Some people use mustard. I've heard that. I haven't used mustard yet. I'm a little skeptical about it, but, you know, maybe I'll try it one day, and maybe I'll do a test with it, see how it goes. All right, so now I got my seasonings on there. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that, and then I'm gonna add my brown sugar. I like the brown sugar because it adds like a nice little sweetness to it, and it also caramelizes, like sugar caramelizes, and it gives it a nice little crust, hopefully. And then with the brown sugar and the peppercorns, it adds like a nice sweet and like a nice sweet and savory, sweet peppery. So it's a good combination. Tastes really good on beef. All right, so just add a little bit more to the sides. There we go. Beautiful. And I think I didn't read it, but so this is about a little under 3 pounds. So this is a little under 3 pounds. So that's perfect for me. I can eat this for a good couple days. Make some sandwiches out of it, or just eat it as is. But this will be perfect. This is why I won't get tired of eating it. And I'm gonna add a little bit more of that. And then lastly, I'm gonna add my grounded up black peppercorns. So my peppercorns, I buy them, they come whole, and then I just I put them in my little grinder and I crush them up. And it has a mix of red peppercorns, black peppercorns, I think green, and I don't know, I forget. It's a bunch of them in there. Actually, let me see if I have it. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So yeah, this is what I get. It's peppercorn medley. And it's got a bunch of different peppercorns in there. And it says here black, white, green, and pink. So you got a little bit of everything in there. And I think it tastes nice. It's really flavorful. So I'm going to hit it with a little bit more brown sugar, a little bit more of this seasoning. And then we'll add the last of our black pepper on there. Alright, so there we go. So now it's really nice. It's glazed on there. So I'm going to set this aside. And then we're going to wash my hands. And yeah, so that's my last brisket. Came out nice. The poor man's brisket, though. I think it came out nice. But yep, so that's the first part. I'm going to let this sit for a while. And I'm going to clean up the kitchen. And then we're going to go outside and we'll set up the grill. Okay, so I prepped the grill and everything. And now I let my meat rest for a little bit. And what I'm noticing is that there's some juice leaking out. So don't know what to make of that. Don't know what that really means. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more of my all mixed seasoning, just the brown sugar, peppercorns. I'm just going to add the rest of that on top just because. And then we'll add, just because we'll add a little bit of freshly ground pepper to it as well. And then what I'm going to do is I have my probes here for my temperature. I was going to put 2 of them in there, but I don't think this needs 2. It's really not that big. So I'm going to put the probe through the thickest part of the meat here. And actually, we'll just go right here. There we go. So I'm just going to poke that in as far as I can. There we go. So now it's nice in the center of that thickest part right there. And then on the smaller side, I'm going to put my hook. And this is pretty much where it's going to hang from. So I'll just stab that through there. There we go. And now we're all ready. So we're going to go outside on the grill, and I'm going to hang this, and then we'll do our time stamps just to make sure we can keep track of how long it's cooking. But it shouldn't take that long because it's a smaller piece of meat. But I'm still going to try to cook it low and slow as possible. And so yeah. So join me outside, and we will throw this on the grill. All right, so we're here. The Oklahoma Joe is saying 200-ish, but the Inkbird is saying 288. So I don't know what to think of that. But whatever, show must go on. This is what I usually cook without the temperatures, but for this, I'll figure I'll try it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and load my brisket on there, and I got my temperature gauge coming out here. Trying to see to it that there's no, okay, whatever. And pretty much that's it. We'll just close it and we'll leave that like that. I'm gonna plug this up into here so I can keep an eye on my internal temperature. There we go. And so now we're showing 190 because I just opened it. So the inside is 190, about 200-ish. And then the inside is 55 degrees. So we'll just, I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I'm gonna watch the temperature gauge. I'm not gonna open it because I want to keep the heat as steady as possible. Even though these thermometers are kind of stressing me out right now, but whatever. It's we're gonna keep rocking like this. I'm gonna close up these vents. Actually, I might put a third temperature probe. Maybe just hanging out somewhere. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. But from now on, this is how we're gonna do the brisket. And yeah, I'm gonna let it sit for a few hours, and then I'll update you guys once it gets to about 160, 170-ish. There's another step we can do. We may wrap it at that point just to take it up, because we want to take this up to at least 205 or at least 200-ish. And yeah. Alrighty, so it's been about 2 hours-ish, I think, a little bit less than that. But anyway, finna go, about to check it out now, see what we got. So well, the brisket temp was about 140-ish according to my thermometer. So I'm just opening it up, and Looks nice so far. We got a nice little pink color around it, and that means we're gonna have a nice beautiful smoke ring once we finish cooking and everything. But it's about at 140 now, so what I'm gonna do is I just got some leftover whiskey, and I poured some apple juice in here as well. I'm just gonna pour that on here. If I had a spray, I would really like to spray it, but don't have that, so I'm just gonna pour this kind of over there. And yep, the grill's still nice and warm. We got plenty of coal, so this could last all day. Also, I did an adjustment for this. I actually put my triple grate on top of that, and then I just put this temperature there. It's still giving me an off temp, but so far it looks like the briskets look like it's cooking, and it's rising slowly. It's not rising too fast. Once it gets to that 180 mark, though, it is going to stall a little bit, and that's just when the fat really starts to break down and try to cool off the brisket. But we'll power through that. We'll just let it, we'll power through that when the time comes to. But now we're just going to keep it going steady. I really like that nice pink color, so we're looking to have a nice, good smoke ring when this is all said and done. All right, I'm going to go back inside, chill for a couple more hours, and we'll be out here later with another update. All right, so update. It's been about 6 hours, and just up under 6 hours, like 5 hours and 50 minutes or so. It's smoking nicely. I raised the temperature up because it seemed like it was just taking forever to cook. I ended up adding another probe in there, so we got an internal temperature of about 170-ish. So I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bit higher because I do like the bark on it. I want it to get a little bit more charged, so I'm gonna let it go for a little bit longer. Then this piece right here is actually it was actually temping at like a good 200. So I just cut that off because I'm gonna eat that now because I'm hungry. So so yeah, I'm gonna eat that now, but then the rest of it I'll let it take its time. I'll be patient with it. So but this way I can try it, see if it's salty. If it's too salty, I can add some butter, try to fix it or something, or if it needs a little bit more pepper. But so far I think it's gonna be good. All right, so I cut a couple pieces up just to show you guys, but yeah, we got a nice little bark on there. It's juicy, and we got a nice little smoke ring on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a little sandwich real quick, just because. And then that's a little bit of the burnt ends. Add a little bit of barbecue sauce, and then some cheddar cheese. And this will be my snack to hold me over until everything else is ready. Okay, so we're almost at the end. It's been some hours later. The piece I ate, that was enough to get me through this. But so right now we have an internal temp at about 180. And so about 180, this is what they call the stall. It's the stubborn part. This is where like the fat really breaks down and it tries its best to keep the meat cool. So this is what's left of the brisket. Man, I didn't eat a lot. It was a small brisket to begin with, and me eating that chunk really didn't help too much. So right now I'm just taking my probes off because don't need them anymore. And I'm gonna take this hook out. It feels really soft and tender. So next what I'm going to do is I'll just pick it up with this. I'm actually just gonna take it over here and then we're gonna wrap it. Now, if you want to add any like extra juice here, or if you want to add just whatever you want to add, you can. If you want to add whatever marinade juice, you want to add some more peppercorns, you can, but I'm not. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna wrap it as tightly as I can. And I like to wrap it in a butcher paper. You can use aluminum foil. That works too, but I like the butcher paper a little bit better. And then we're just gonna make sure that's nice and tight. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna allow us to keep cooking it, and then we're gonna, hopefully it should get up to that temperature of 200 that we want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna leave it just like this, and then I'm going to put it I'm gonna put it back on the grill. I'm not gonna put a thermometer in here. I'm just gonna let it sit right there. And we're gonna open up the vents, and then we'll just let it go for maybe about another hour or so, and then we'll probe it with this with the instant read. And that's pretty much it for a while. So we got about another hour to go, maybe another 2 hours, we'll see. But it's at like 180 now, so hopefully that wrap helps carry that temperature up to, you know, the 200s, and then we can let it rest. Alrighty, so it has come to this. So I took the brisket off. I put it in this little thermos bag, and I let it sit for a good. I ain't gonna lie, I let it sit for like 20 minutes. A lot of people say let it rest for an hour, but I'm too hungry. I can't do that. I got no patience, no willpower. So it is what it is. But yeah, I took it out the butcher paper. Well, I didn't take it out, but I probed it through, and it was saying at about a good 200 degrees. So then I just took it off. I probably could have let it go up to 205, but yeah, I'm sure this is ready now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off. It is still very hot. And as you can see, like, the butcher paper is very saturated. It smells really nice too. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So actually, I'll leave that. Actually, we'll bring it on the... Okay. So that's just the fat that's stuck to it. All right, so we'll bring it around and we'll cut it. Now I'm not sure which way to cut it. I know it's supposed to be on an angle, but we'll do it like this. Ooh, that is very hot. I need my tongs. Where's my tongs? Yeah, so when you're cooking, make sure you I guess I could have let it rest for a little bit longer, but I didn't. And now I'm paying for it. So I'm just going to cut it on a nice little angle. And I'm noticing it's really soft. I'm cutting bigger chunks. I probably should cut thinner chunks. But yeah, we'll cut some from here. We'll cut some from this side, just so we can kind of see it. There we go. We see the beautiful smoke ring and everything. All right, I'm not going to cut it all up because I don't want it to, I'll keep it whole. But yeah, we got some pieces falling apart here. And look at that. Beautiful. Whew, that's hot. That's hot. Beautiful smoke ring. Whew. So yep, that's the end result of the brisket. I'm going to go ahead and finish this. I'm going to finish some of these pieces tonight, and tune in to the next episode. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So as I'm chewing this brisket, we'll give you guys a rundown of the numbers. Took me about a good 7-ish hours, 7 to 8 hours on this. Not bad. It's a small brisket, so cooked a little faster, but I did keep it low and slow. I try to keep my grill temperature to at about 250-ish. 225 to 250-ish. That's what I was aiming for. Sometimes it went lower, sometimes it went higher, but that's what I was aiming for. And so about a good 8 hours, but you mostly don't worry about the time, worry about the temperature. So once the brisket starts rising, once it gets to 140, you might have to kick up the open up the dampers a little bit, let some more heat get to it, because it's going to start slowing down. Then at about 180 is where you can wrap it. Cause and usually by that temperature, if you smoked it long enough, you'll have a good enough color on it. You can wrap it whenever you want to, and that'll speed up the process. But for me, I like to let it get nice and dark, like, and then once it gets that, then I'll wrap it. And then once it's wrapped, it'll help bring that temperature up a little bit faster. There we go. That's pretty good. It's breaking apart really easy too. Very delicious. A lot of smoke flavor in this. I'm very proud of this smoke ring right here. That's beautiful. Yeah. So that's it.